Okay.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Nathan Golia, and with me as always is Zach Clark. We're the Eternal Turtles crew. Here once again, we're gonna do some commentary for you. How you doing, Zach?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, I'm. I know you were just running from the bus to make it. I'm out of town.
Yeah.
I'm in Austin at a conference, so we've got an interesting matchup to discuss today, right?
Yep. We were looking at Manaless Dredge versus Elves. Julian is on Elves and Mack is on Manaless Dredge.
Yeah, I watched. I think Julian and Mack in separate games already today. So seen both decks in action. What do you think is sort of the key sort of inflection point here?
I mean, this is a classic case of whoever goes off first, right? So you're looking at Elves basically trying to get out a couple guys and hit like a turn 3 is probably the fastest they can go off on a really lucky draw. And there's not a lot of disruption from Elves. Obviously, it's not a deck that runs Grafdigger's Cage, so it's kind of got to rely on just having Dredge not do its thing, possibly mull poorly, and then do its own thing.
Yeah, so Julian has 3 surgical extractions, 3 Thoughtseize in his board for game 2, and then I guess in his main deck, his best bet is to just get a Deathrite Shaman out early, correct? And maybe one of those untapping elves, as Rich Callie pointed out as we were going out of the last match, that you can get multiple activations off Deathrite and plenty of green mana with cards like Gaia's Cradle.
That sounds about right. I mean, the thing that he has going for him, Julian has going for him on Elves, is that he doesn't have to play against any disruption, which is kind of nice for the most part. Aside from, I can't imagine there's anything else in his deck that really interacts with Manaless Dredge.
Yeah. Sorry. Mack is going to have access to Force of Will after board. Mind Break Trap, I don't really think so. I guess Contagion could be a potential card for him.
Yeah.
I'm on 2 screens here trying to figure out what's in everyone's deck, but I don't think he'll want to go that route. I don't think he'll want to be taking cards out of his hand with cards like Force of Will and Contagion. I think he just wants to make 30 zombies as fast as possible before Julian can get his House of Horrors online.
That sounds about right. The nice thing is even if he does get those zombies online, Craterhoof Behemoth really can bring through a lot of damage even with the trample. So he's got to be careful of actually being able to win before Craterhoof Behemoth gets online with like 4 or 5 dudes.
Yeah. I've seen some slow draws out of this Manaless deck. In Mack's first game today, I don't think he even had a Dredger in his opening 7, and had 2 redraws with going on the draw rather, and then having a Taxium Probe, and then was able to go off. But yeah, bad hand like that. Julian gets a Deathrite, some other acceleration. He could be off to the races.
I agree.
All right, I see the matchup on the stream. I don't see it on our Skype conversation here.
Yeah, I don't see it yet. There we go.
We're coming in.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. No problem. So it looks like we've got a mull from Julian to 3, but his hand doesn't look too bad here. He kept, and he's got a cradle on top, but he's already got a cradle in hand, so he'll probably put that on the bottom. And looking at the other side of the board, looks like Mack has kind of a lackluster opener, but he kept.
Well, he's got Phantasmagorian, but he can't.
Oh, sure does. Yeah.
Yeah, he
can't really do much with it yet.
First. He's going to just pass right through here. And there goes Julian.
All right, so Julian will probably just go right for a Bayou, right? Because that's what you want to do against a deck that doesn't have Wasteland. And then if you end up getting Deathrite Shaman, you've got that option too. But obviously the green for the Deathrite Shaman is probably going to be more of an issue here. So
I feel like we're frozen. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Zach sounded a little robot-y.
we've got.
He's going to make some mana, make a Heritage Druid. This is pretty much what Julian wants. He's got a fast natural order here, and Mack still doesn't have a board presence.
Yeah, this is exactly where you want to be if you're elves, where your opponent's not doing anything for the first turn. You can pull a natural order out. This is going to be backbreaking if Mack can't do something in the next turn, really.
And it looks like everyone's coming across here.
Yep. That's a nice little turn 2. Not a win on turn 2, but still, that's a lot of damage.
Unless you can... Yeah, it's enough to... I mean, I don't think Mack has much of a chance here.
All right. I guess this is the chance Mack has to pull off his best deal is see what he has in his hand. And
well, he's gonna discard here to Phantasmagoria and get a couple, get a dredge here from Street Wraith, and then get another dredge next turn. So he could theoretically assemble a ton of blockers, depending on how many bridges he can hit.
He's gonna need a lot of blockers. Yeah, next turn, the only thing he really has to worry about is the Crater Hoof, because nothing else is really going to swing through the blockers at that point. They don't get that bonus the second time around. That's an enter the battlefield effect. As long as he can produce those.
Yeah, I don't think he hit anything here. There was a theory he could have Dread Return Yellow Brand, but yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that would have put him back in the game, probably. Yeah, so we're going to board. Obviously, we're going to bring in some forces on the Dread side. Out come the graveyard here and the next Firmacobs. And it looks like, Surgical Extraction comes in, obviously. And
Thoughtseize coming in is good too. He's gonna be able to pick the least threatening card out of Mack's hand, and then since Mack is dependent on the discard step, he won't be able to get a dredge off for a couple turns.
Call. Yeah,
if that is item. What the game ends up looking like. That was a pretty monster. That was a pretty monster hand from Julian.
Oh yeah, that's the ideal elves hand there. Is especially knowing that your opponent has nothing in the main to like disrupt you at all. It's just like go all in. And that was a 6. I mean, imagine a 7 with like one more card he could have used, right?
Yeah.
All right, looks like they're finalizing.
I agree with Mack here, not bothering to bring in Force of Will. I mean, you can see how fast this deck can be.
Yeah, and Force of Will is funny where, the deck doesn't play a ton of blue cards to begin with, and it also is like making your combo less consistent, so I can see not bringing in the forces. All right, let's see what we're looking at here.
Hopefully Mack hit his timer in time. This is... Well, Julian's got Natural Order and Gaia's Cradle and 2 1-mana elves. I think he's going to keep this 3 1-mana creatures. Mack's got to keep his hand, and he does have a Dredger to discard eventually, but having that 1 Narcomoeba stranded in his hand is going to hurt a little bit.
An okay, what I would call an okay 6 with the Narcomoeba in his hand against a slower deck, but against elves, no disruption. This could be a pretty quick one for us. Again, Nate, we might have another 5-minute commentary.
Yeah, right. Well, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yep.
So Mack's gonna gets discarded Grave Troll here, which is pretty much what he wants to do. Julian's gonna be able to go Kyrion Ranger, Wirewood Symbiote. And then next turn he can ham it up.
Yeah. Oh man, this looks pretty brutal. Right? Just get the extra mana in there. Yeah, there's nothing else he can do this turn. Obviously, he's not going to cast Natural Order yet. With just 1 mana, and Craterhoof Behemoth is too much. But next turn he's got Natural Order. It should be pretty easy for him to overrun.
Wow, it was an interesting dredge for sure.
Oof.
Hitting all the contagions like that isn't ideal, but getting the 2 bridges is definitely where you want to be. Gets to dredge this Golgari Thug. Maybe he can hit a Narcomoeba. I guess there's still no sack outlet, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, we got Icarid now. Balustrade Spy is not really going to be doing much right now.
So Julian's going to Natural Order for his other Craterhoof.
And that should be game. He's playing 2 Craterhoofs, so that should do it.
He's going to get 1. So I'm trying to do the math. He's got 1 power with the Pendlehaven plus 2, 3 with the creatures. Oh, well, this is even better. So now he's going to get Deathrite. He could even just sacrifice his Deathrite to the Natural Order since it's summoning sick.
Yeah.
And then I think that would be pretty close to game. +4 gives you 5, 10, 15.
Plus 9. Yeah. That's plenty.
Pendlehaven, you could do that in response to the trigger. Really, the question is whether he's going to sacrifice a Deathrite to his Natural Order.
Yep. And
that's
obviously the Natural Order gets rid of all of the bridge from belows too. To add insult to injury, why not?
Trigger abilities.
Yeah. There's a line we didn't even see. He can just play Natural Order and continue playing Magic against him.
Now here's the question: do you put him dead here, or do you untap and play the second Craterhoof Behemoth?
Well, that was fast, guys. Julian had
fast.
Pretty great hands. And I was actually expecting that maybe that would maybe Els was going to be less likely to win this, but proven wrong for sure.
Yeah, I could always see it going either way. Julian just had these magical hands with Natural Order immediately. Next up, Julian is going to keep going. He's going to play against Bob Huang's Grixis Shadow deck, which we just saw dispatch Rudy Brixa. Not in the match that was relatively recent compared to now. So did you get a chance to take a look at Bob's deck at all?
I didn't. Tell me a little bit about the Grixis Shadow deck.
It's cool. He's got a Monastery Swift Spear plan with the Mishra's Baubles and all the cantrips, so that's a nice backup plan. He's got Temur Battle Rage to be able to trample over with big Death Shadows or potentially big Swift Spears, and then he's got Delver and Daze, the whole package. I'll be interested to see if he can he's got like a sort of that mini combo in there with the big Death Shadow and Temur Battle Rage. I wonder if that could be enough to race Julian.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about this deck last night on the cast about how interesting just having Death Shadow in Legacy is, and some of the interactions with it.
Yeah, I've played Death Shadow in Legacy, not to any sort of success. I haven't tried it in this Grixis build though. I've seen it in Modern, obviously, and I think what Bob's done is pretty interesting. It's also nice to see you get to see some Shocklands in Legacy, which is nice for a change.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the Death Shadow deck play against an Infect deck that has Invigorate in it. Have your opponent gain life right as you're attacking with it or something.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Unfortunately, there's no Invigorate in this group, so we'll see if that comes up in future rounds.
So, looks like.